America warm, nice and calm. You almost there.
Yeah, I did it. I cried 2 tears in a bucket. Fuck it. Let's take it to the stage.
You dig it? You knock a dude down, you get some respect.
Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome back aboard. You're on the Black Man Unfiltered Network. Your favorite baby boomer here, R. Payne. Hey, listen, we got another good one for you today. Maybe I'll ruffle some feathers, and maybe I won't. But if you look at the title, we're talking about, and this is undeniable, that Black women hold a prominent space in the Democrat Party. But are the queens being used as pawns? You know, and can both be true. So we're going to examine that a little bit, Joe. But first, everybody come in and settle in. And hope everybody's Monday has been good. We're back at it. You know, I look at the stock market every day. It's a good day today. So I'm a little bit better, a little bit happier today. But tomorrow is always Bloody Tuesday. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. So see what the president's doing to make things better or worse or whatever. It's we live in interesting times. So, but I think some interesting stuff I'm gonna say here. I got some clips, I got some music, I got a few things that we're gonna share today, and it's all gonna be based on what we're gonna talk about, and I think it's gonna be interesting. I'll drop the link at some point, and so people could come up and if they want to. Or you could just hear me rant for, 45 minutes. But I think, no matter what I say, I think there's a modicum of truth in everything I'm gonna tell you. And I look at these things in 3 parts. So we're gonna talk about that. But first, let me go ahead and break the ice the way I want to, and so you guys can share this one with me. And it's my first little musical clip I showed to the fellas on Friday. Now I'm gonna share it with you guys today, so some of you guys know I dabble with the AI music, and it's kind of funny. It comes in stages, it's stages. I come up with a theme. I have something on around the baby boomer theme. I have a tool that will write lyrics. Then I take those lyrics, I get an avatar, just one, the avatar. You'll be surprised with that, who the avatar is in this one. And then I go to another tool that has, I can create a theme, right, and an environment. And then, of course, you have a person singing, lip singing to the song. And I think this one is pretty good. So we're going to play it. And, while we get people coming in and before we get started, then I'll tell you the outline of what we're going to cover and all that kind of good stuff. So here we go. There we go.
Like a headline, smooth with the chrome on the mind. Baby boomer groove in my step, but I'm built for the front line. Deep bass shaking the block when I speak. Every bar got away, funky with the flair. I don't chase the wave, I generate flair. Old school soul in the cut with the fresh cut swing. Baby boomer fronts on a deep bass beat. Step so cool, got I'm the old school kid with a new school cheat. I learned from the vinyl crack code. Now I'm spinning in a digital flow. Confidence locked in my posture. Let the whole loud city know. From the basement to the skyline, I keep that rhythm alive. For my heart, hip hop spark, making every low note drive. When the kick drum drops, it's a thunderclap, and I rise with the tide. Funky, rapping my blood deep, blazing my chest, yeah. I'm built to ride. Still got the funk, still got the roar, still got the swing. Still got the funk, still got the roar, still got the swing. Baby, pull my phone on a DK speed. Step so cool, now the whole world on repeat. Hip hop pride with the velvet smooth beat. I'm the old school kid with a new skin sheet. Yeah, I keep it confident, loud and clean. Favorite baby going with a bass I need.
Could have been a nice softer landing, but that's okay. So that was the icebreaker. So we're going to get to it a little bit with what we're going to talk about today. And of course, like I said, refer to the title, Black Women in the Democrat Party, Queens or Political Pawns. And I would tell you that you could make up your own mind, but there's a little bit of both going on. So, but before we get started, there's a couple of terms that I want to put up for you, so we know what we're talking about, okay? So here's what I think about the Democrat Party anyway. And it's not just me. I think they admitted this themselves. Yeah, that was there. There's a cool brother up there saying, listen, the Democrat Party themselves have trouble with men. They spent a decade telling men that they're toxic. They spent a decade trying to say, men are too hard. And essentially, the Democrat Party has become a gynocentric kind of party, pretty much dominated and run by women. You see a lot of the recent elections coming up, who has the loudest voices and all of that kind of stuff. And so it's gynocratic, so let's look at it. Let's look at it a little bit. When we say gynocratic, what do you mean? Because it's not a made up term. So when we say a gynocracy, right? Essentially, it's a political movement, but it's run by women. Okay, and in order for that to succeed, you got to have a few elements that work well. That work well for you. And lo and behold, in the Black community, now I don't think this was necessarily by design, but it just worked out that way. That in the Black community over the last few decades, 3 generations, we've developed a matriarchal system because of the things that happened in the 60s that split the Black family and essentially left a certain percentage of the women in charge. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, right? So now it's not me saying this, it's common knowledge. It's commonly accepted that for most of the Black community, it's matriarchal. So if I was going to set up a gynocracy, my first experiment would be to see if I could corral the people who are the most matriarchal to see if they can help satisfy that need for women to be in charge and see how that works. Because our African American or Black American dynamic is pretty much the only matriarchal system that is here right now. The Latinos are not matriarchal. The Jews are not matriarchal. You know, the Aryan white man is not necessarily matriarchal either. But the Democrats are. And so if I was going to try an experiment, who better than give a bullhorn to than a Black woman, right? You give a Black woman a bullhorn and they'll trumpet anything you need them to trumpet as long as it makes them feel good, right? I mean, it's just the way it is. You want to promote anything that you want to promote. It's as simple as that. The alphabet mafia, give a Black woman the bullhorn. You want to tout, illegal immigration and anti-ICE, give a Black woman the bullhorn. You want to talk victimization and constantly feeling that you're being oppressed, give a Black woman a bullhorn. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So that's where we are. So it's a perfect tool to give a queen the bullhorn to see what kind of work she could do for you. Because we got a whole bunch of subjugated Black men who listen to their women. I mean, that's not a mistake either. We got an overabundance of Black men who just go along to get along, right? I call this essentially, I call it the way that tool works is I call it the triple A effect. And it works on most women, but I know it works on Black women with steroids, right? It's triple A, right? The first one is attention. All women love attention. You give them attention, the attention they need, what they want. Now, in the days of social media, attention it's like it's like, I don't know, crack. That's what attention is. The second one is accolades. Now, it ain't me, but we can go through TikTok and we just see a whole bunch of ladies, Black ones, especially talking about all of their achievements, their accolades, their bona fides, right? That's all they talk about. I did this. I got this. I'm this. I'm that. I'm this. I'm independent. I don't need no man. That whole 9 yards. Okay, so the accolades are important. And then finally, affirmation. All you got to do is affirm anything with a Black woman, and most women, but Black women especially, and that makes them feel good, right? I'm 5'1" and I weigh 400 pounds. Okay, but you're still pretty. You're still a 10. Right? I got 5 baby daddies by 5 different men, but I got it all under control. Don't worry about it, sister. You got it. The whole 9 yards. Whatever it is, it's never bad. So you give them attention, you praise their accolades, and some of that is good, right? And then the last one is affirm all the good shit and all the bad shit. Right? So you get the AAA effect. And you got that person on your side, right? You got that person. And this is something that's prevalent with liberals. It's really prevalent, and it works. And it's just the way it is. And we can argue it all. Somebody could come up here and tell me it's not like that. But, I'm telling you, you'll have a hard one. So, okay, so listen. So the matriarchy works well under a gynocratic system, because it's an experiment that you can see. Now, the one thing that's happening is now it's not just in the Black community. We're like what they say, the canary in the coal mine, or that. And, whatever happens in our community eventually spreads throughout. And when you look at the Democratic Party, it's actually female-centric. Matter of fact, it's so female-centric. Remember, they did a study. They commissioned $20 million to figure out how they could get men back into a fold. Well, I don't know how far they thought $20 million was going to go. But here's how bad it was. They came up with $20 million after Trump won. But guess who was leading the study? A woman. They gave $20 million to a woman to figure out how to get men back into the fold. That shit felt like a lead balloon. That was stupid. So what I'm saying is that first thing. So when I look at the sisters who the 92% voted for liberal Democrats, and most of them are all liberal Democrats, with just, empathy that's, pretty much they empathize with everything, right? It's irrational empathy over almost everything. And you can get them to be on your side and tout the things you need to tout. If you want to talk about gender, men and female locker rooms, you can find a black woman to tout that. If you want to talk about gender affirming care, mutilation of kids, you can find some women to talk about that and say it's okay. It's funny that Dwayne Wade, a man, is kind of the poster child for that. And he's a guy, but his wife is in on that too. So I'm just saying, it's an experiment that's ongoing, and whether it was all on purpose and all or not, it just happened to work out that way. So in the black community just happens to find its way as the spearhead of the Democrat move away from masculine men to men who are malleable and who will placate the desires of their females, even to the detriment of having a strong society. That's the way I see it. So in this case, are our queens, our black queens, are they pawns or not? Because let me put it to you this way: in a good chess match, some of the chess masters, they sacrifice their queen for a greater good, right? Look at Jasmine Crockett, right? An $800,000 educated woman who spent her time in Congress talking like a ghetto bug, a ghetto bug. And that's because at the time, they thought that's what black people needed to hear, an educated woman talking like a slug. But when it came time for the Democrats to support her and her run for the Senate, they were nowhere to be found. They left her ass high and dry. She tried to blame that on Trump, which was crazy. It wasn't his thing. The Democrats let her down. And then they put some other freak, but some guy named Tellerico in there, who, if you look at his track record, I could almost say there's no way he should have beat Jasmine Crockett. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. So for that standpoint, that's what I say. That's how I feel about it. So when I go to my chart here, and I don't expect you to read this thing, there's two pillars. The first pillar is how we got here, right? In the 60s, when LBJ signed the Civil Rights Bill, and he made this Faustian deal with the black community, especially the black woman, to say, we can take care of you. Your new husband is the government, and we'll take care of you as long as your man is not in the house. Now, every woman didn't take that deal. Contrary to what people say, every woman didn't take that deal. But it was enough who did to make a difference, especially if you project it out through through 3 generations, or through 60 years. So the percentage of women who took that deal, they created a daisy chain of generational curses, of one woman having kids, other women having kids. And so here we are today with 75% of our kids born out of wedlock. Where back then in the 60s, in 1964, it was only 25%, which is still high, by the way. So there you go. There you have it. So that's a perfect stew for the feminist party to say, hey, listen, we can prop up people, women, but in order to do that, we have to weaken the backbone of men. And nobody can really deny that the men of today are nothing like the men of yesterday. I would submit to you, one of the reasons why liberal women don't like conservative men, because they don't take no bullshit. They don't sit down and they don't believe in a happy wife, happy life. If you want to get, you got to give. So that's one of those kind of things. That's how I look at it. So people could believe in that or not. So I just think that the way our matriarchal system is for the black community, it keeps us on a plantation. You know, the Democrats were our worst enemy during slave time, and they didn't change. They just flipped the script, right? So we went from metal shackles to mental shackles. That's where we are now. We're still on the plantation. A lot of us are. And until Trump won this last election, where we started to see a little chink in the kink in the armor, right? Especially with men, because black men started to realize there's nothing in the Democratic Party for us, you know, except maybe the admiration of the women who want to stay on the plantation. And that's not enough. That's not enough. So, you know, I just say, how do we get off? How do we get off that plantation? I got a couple of clips. I want to play this clip for you. Let me do this. I want to play this clip with this lady talking. All right, it's just small. This is a short one, and I got a longer clip, but this clip I thought was pretty good because this sister talked about just in general where we stand, and this is a clip of a guy who took a clip, so it's maybe a minute long.
Remember, being a victim is very profitable today. There's a greater payoff for some people to do that rather than to actually apply themselves to a skill, discover what God-given gifts they've been given, because everyone has been given some God-given gifts, usually more than one. But it's easier to sort of rest on the laurels of, if I complain enough, if I join this group enough, if I act, bliggity enough, I said what I said. If I engage in all of this sort of nefarious activity and pretend that I'm suffering the same kinds of things that people in Frederick Douglass's era suffered, then I'm going to get free stuff. I'm going to get a break when I screw up. I'm going to be able to screw up as much as I want to and not suffer any consequences. I think there's a couple things that are really at play and kind of at the foundation of that mentality, that where the gap is ignored, the gap where Black people were thriving, Black people were homeowners, Black people were getting married, having children, successful families. They were God-fearing. They were going to church, and not just going to church. They were living out the gospel of Jesus Christ. Like, they were walking in authority in the earth, right? But there's a couple things that are at play. There's no fear of God. There's no fear of consequences. You're now for the very first time, the very first fatherless generation who are now young adults, and they were all raised by women who hate men.
Let me stop it right there. There's no lie in what she just says. There hasn't been more of a collection. Now, I know we talk about misogyny a lot. Women like to talk about that because y'all have a greater access to, not a greater access, but y'all use social media more, and y'all like buzzwords. But there's no greater detriment to relationships than the misandry that exists by such a large group of women against Black men. And it's kind of funny because you're the guys who are raising the Black men that you hate. And she just said it.
Never happened before. And it is this, it's this ethnicity where it is the most prevalent and where it is the most pronounced. Fatherless generation who are now young adults, and they were all raised by women who hate men. This has never happened before. And it is this, it's this ethnicity where it is the most prevalent and where it is the most pronounced. And I believe that, sort of the cycle that people keep sort of going in and out of, right? Where there's government dependency, where there's way too many women raising boys, and I'm talking about like a gaggle of geese, like a hen house.
Now, listen to what she places response.
I wanted to stop that right there because his brother's okay. But the point really is, I wanted to make that point because it's true. So if I was, the commercialism of the split between the Black man and the Black woman, there's a commercial benefit and there's a political benefit. But it's all being spearheaded by the women with the bullhorns, right? The women who has the platform. And the sisters, let me say, man, the sisters are doing really well in a lot of areas in terms of higher office, in political office, judges, assembly people. They're sitting on boards. They're doing police chiefs. I mean, how many times you see a police chief and all that kind of stuff happening, you know? So all I'm trying to say is then what kind of person are you and what do you believe in? You know, are you a flaming liberal with unbridled empathy for everybody who's a bleeding case? Or do you have some conservative values, looking for family, looking for husbands as opposed to partners, whatever? What kind of person are you? And right now, most of the women in the Black community are liberals, especially the ones who are seeking power. And their philosophy is all over the place. Some of the things are self-destructive. They're not sustainable, you know, and that's the problem. Okay, and then I'm gonna get to that point because there's 3 parts to this. Just for the first part, I wanted to talk about the matriarchy, the gynocracy that the Democrats are trying to build with the feminists. And, you know, that's why Kamala Harris was such a big deal to become president. Everybody and their mother knew that she's not a good candidate to be president. I mean, Hillary probably would have been better. In fact, I voted for Hillary. You know, that's when I was still on the plantation. I actually voted for her over Trump. You know, and that's after 8 years or 2 terms of voting for Barack Obama when I thought he was Black. You know, and so, you know, so people change even at older age. You know, so there you go. So anyhow, I like this. So I have this other clip that'll bring you from the 60s to where we are now. And I think it's not short, it's not that long because I clipped it up, and it'll help you kind of solidify what I'm talking about already. So you saw my thing here. So one of the other things I wanted to say before I move to that is, you know, the thing about Black men and the fact that the ones of us who are still, you know, tied to the Democratic plantation, you know, and are just either, you know, being submissive to the women that's in our lives, or actually silenced because, you know, they're too scared to speak. You know, and I think that's part of it. Some of the guys are just too scared to speak. They don't want to be canceled. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. So that's where we are. You know, so the programming, all of us are programmed in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and have been for a lot of years. FDR said we've been programmed to vote Democrat, and he's going to have us voting for the next 200 years. That's what they said, he said. I can't find that quote, but everybody has heard it. You know, so here goes. I want to play this other clip to kind of so I can shut up. And this is just to kind of put this to bed where I think the gynocracy is going and how it kind of started from, because I'm going to have Malcolm X speak and a couple other things go. And you'll see that the liberals have no issue, no problem using the pawns in their you know, and leaving, I guess, I don't want to say, but leaving wounded bodies in their wake as they go. If once you stop being beneficial to them, they're going to have no use for you. They'll move right on. And that includes our so-called Black queens, you know? So here we go. So bear with me. I'm going to cue this up. Let me stop that. I think this will be pretty quick.
Civil rights issue, namely the race problem, integration, civil rights issue, are all nothing but tools used by the whites who call themselves liberals against another group of whites who call themselves conservatives, either to get into power or to retain power. Among whites here in America, the political teams are no longer divided into Democrats and Republicans. The whites who are now struggling for control of the American political throne are divided into liberal and conservative camps. The white liberals from both parties cross party lines to work together toward the same goal. And white conservatives from both parties do likewise. The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative.
So that's an important point, right? And he said this, but this is back in the 60s, right? I think this was this was even before the Civil Rights Bill was signed. And one of the things that he said that I always thought was prevalent was about the white liberal being the most dangerous person to the black community. But today, the black liberal is the biggest enemy of the black community because the trap has been set. The programming is on autopilot. And so it's the black liberal, it's the bobblehead Sharptons, the D.L. Hugleys, the squad, all these people telling us that we're perpetual victims and we need the Democrat Party for handouts and we're too dog shit stupid to get IDs and learn how to vote. We're just puppy dogs and we can't really get our shit together without their help, without the government guiding us. Forget about your own merits. Forget about your own pride. You just need them. And so this is true. It was true back then, but in order to keep us on the plantation, we have to have a black face. So now we can't even have a politician. If they don't have a black politician, all of a sudden we think our needs are not being met. And we got all these black politicians. And I would challenge anybody out there to tell me, what has the Congressional Black Caucus ever done for any of us?
Both want power, but the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor. And by winning the friendship and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or a weapon in this political football game that is constantly raging between the white liberals and the white conservatives. The American Negro is nothing but a political football, and the white liberals control this ball through tricks or tokenism, false promises of integration and civil rights.
Okay, so there you go. You could believe this or not, but it's true. Like I said before, I look at the AAA effect that works on black women. It works on women in general, but I look at black women because it's on steroids. Attention, accolades, and affirmation. Those three things together, will put a woman into the feeling that you're on her side. And that if you say it right, and if you do it right, if your tone is right, you could probably get them to do almost anything you need them to do because they think that you're one of the good guys.
In this game of deceiving and using the American Negro, the white liberals have complete cooperation of the Negro civil rights leaders who sell our people out for a few crumbs of token recognition, token gains, token progress. In the New York Tribune, in an editorial dated February the 5th, 1960, they pointed out that out of 11 million qualified Negro voters, only 2,700,000 actually take time to vote. This means that, roughly speaking, only 3 million out of the 11 million Negroes who are qualified to vote take an active part. And the remaining 8 million remain voluntarily.
So I'm going to stop it there, okay? Because the percentages of blacks who do vote against the ones who don't is probably pretty much kind of same. Maybe not that extreme, but I'm sure there's a whole bunch of black folks who stay home. And we all know that. And the black people who do, right? And I think he makes one more point of who these people are. And essentially he says, he goes on to say they're part of the bourgeoisie. Today we would be saying the Divine Nine. Okay? That's what he would be saying. So I'm going to just kind of move on because to the next person I want to get to, because I have a lot of these clips. I'm going to just move on to the next person. And some of you guys might know this lady here.
It's not the reason your neighborhood is in shambles.
Black bourgeoisie.
White people, it's not the reason your neighborhood is in shambles. White people, it's not the reason that you throw your flaming hot bag on the ground. White people, it's also not the reason for you having bulletproof glass or being fed through bulletproof glass in your neighborhood. White people are not the reason for you guys being baby mothers, for you having children out of wedlock. They're not the reason for that either. And they're definitely not the reason why you guys are killing each other. The truth is, a lot of these things that are happening within our community, we have control over. We can change them if we choose to identify and do something about these issues. But it is us that refuse to do anything about our own issues. And instead, we choose to blame other races of people. And that is why nothing is getting done. That is why we are constantly being shot down, not only by ourselves, but other races of people are starting to shoot us down because we are not doing nothing about the issues in our community. And they're spilling over into other communities where they are doing something about it. So the question is, should we be blaming white people or should we blame ourselves?
You know, it's funny, this last Juneteenth, right, in Chicago, where they got the worst mayor ever. I know this is a black screen. They got the worst mayor ever because I got a thing right after this. They had 8 to 9 people die that weekend, 40 people shot. You know, where's BLM? Where's Benjamin Crump? Where the hell is Al Sharp? Where are the black leaders talking about the travesty of weekend by weekend of us killing each other? You know, so we have a one-off where a white man might do something or an Asian guy might do something or whatever. Okay, so then we mobilize around that. But weekly, every single week, week after week, somewhere in this country, we're destroying each other, right? And there's no outcry anywhere. How does that get fixed? There's no party that's going to fix that. The Republicans won't fix it. The Democrats won't fix it. This shit is something that has to be done internally. It's got to be that when we become too tired that we don't want to take this shit no more. And then we actually point the finger at where it needs to be pointed. And we don't need anybody on a bullhorn trying to tout what the liberals want us to tout or try to tout what the Republicans want us to tout, right? There's something for us to fix. The churches have failed us, right? Because they're all gynocentric, right? That's not a lie. The pastors pander to the women who put money in the tithe. Okay, so there you go. So, I mean, we're kind of lost. Anyway, so let me go ahead and continue this one because this last guy is pretty good. And he's right. Most of the stuff was liberal. There's a feminine part to being a liberal.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but the reason why a lot of other races don't like being around black people is not because they're jealous of black culture or black people. And let me explain to you guys what I mean by that. You guys, there's a growing and feminine narrative within the black community that the reason why a lot of races in America don't like black people is because they're jealous of black culture. And I sort of find that strange because what exactly is there to be jealous about? Are they jealous of the music and our culture that glorifies single motherhood, gang violence, and murder? Are they jealous that we as African Americans have some of the highest divorce rates, lowest marriage rates, and some of the lowest two-person household rates? You guys, as a fellow black person, I hate to burst your bubble, but the reason why groups of people do not like African Americans is not because they're jealous of us. It's because our culture has turned into garbage, which creates garbage people. And then those garbage people create garbage acts that make other people not want to be around us. The notion that people do not like you because they are jealous of you is feminine. It shows that the black community does not have proper critical thinking skills to solve problems. So what they do is, in a very feminine way, by the way, is divert blame and shame elsewhere. Because at the end of the day, we are human beings and we want to be communal. But if a human being has poor social and communication skills, they will say and or do anything to justify why they are not liked. And never in my days as a grown-ass man has a group of people not liked me. And I said to myself, the reason why they don't like me because they jealous of me. What kind of sassy shit is that? The reason why you're not liked is probably because you are not likable. And don't get me wrong, you have two choices. The first choice is you don't have to change. You can.
Well, see, that's the key right there. That's the key right there. Yeah, most people feel that they don't have to change because they don't think they're doing anything wrong. And that's true. It's prevalent. And then change, of course, comes at a cost. It comes with effort. It comes with a lot of stuff. It's hard to let go of the bad habits.
Continue being obnoxious, annoying, loud, and disrespectful. But the thing is, you can't get upset when people want you away from them. You cannot say that people are jealous of you because they don't want to be around you. Because this is the life that you chose. You chose to express yourself however you want. So now you're going to be by yourself. The second choice is when you say, maybe I have a problem and maybe I'll change. Maybe I won't be able to act however I want, but I'll have a community that backs me at the same time. So changing is up to you. You don't have to change, but you damn sure have to live with the consequences of your actions. And this is why it's very important as functional Black men to stand up, because this is what femininity does to a culture. For decades, the Black community has been run by women and has been running straight into the ground. So if we want to fix the Black community, we need.
All right, so he made a statement, so it's up to you guys to think, was he correct? Because the first part is correct. I mean, for decades, the Black community has been run by, at least a portion of it that grows exponentially every generation, has been run by Black women. And are we any better off today than we were when it wasn't being run by Black women? That's just a question you have to ask. And what's the difference? One, there are women who have achieved higher goals and they don't want to be subjugated to men. And then there are men who have fallen down on the job. And there's men who are just giving up because they don't want to compete from the standpoint for leadership in their own households with their woman. And they shouldn't have. Either you accept your man as your leader or you don't. So if that's a battle, guys say, well, let me just go ahead and play the field. Why dick around with that? I don't need the aggravation. So I don't know. So where we are today is in a bad way, and it's only getting worse. And the last lady said that this is the first generation of men that was just solely born by single women who hate men. So it shouldn't really surprise any of you ladies out there on why the men, the young men are behaving the way they behave, especially towards women.
Black male leaders who are God-fearing to stand up so we can have a good community again. I hope this helped.
Victim can never be trusted, says Carl Jung.
Because I want you to know that I am more offended as an African-American woman than you will ever be.
The chronic victim can never be trusted.
The reason we could never be who we wanted and dreamed of being is you kept your knee on our neck. We could run corporations and not hustle in the street, but you had your knee on our neck. We had creative skills. We could do whatever anybody else could do, but we couldn't get your knee off our neck.
See, that's the kind of rhetoric bullshit and he's good at it. They pay him well for that kind of stuff, and especially using past tense. We still have people who could run corporations, and there's no knee on the proverbial George Floyd knee on George Floyd's neck. There's not a knee on the neck of the complete and everybody in the Black community. It's just he's using hyperbole, rhetoric, and all that other shit. And he could do he does it well. He keeps people right there on the plantation. Because there's too many people, it's easier to believe the bullshit he's saying and point the finger outside and say, I'm a perpetual victim, than it is to, go ahead and get done what you need to get done. Because we got a lot of successful Black folks, and nobody really wants to kind of focus on that.
The chronic victim can never be trusted.
It's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps.
Stay on your knees. Stay on the plantation, boy. I decided to be a free man. Slavery is a choice.
So, I mean, listen, back in the day, nobody would believe that. But today, it certainly sure is. Because slavery today is mental. It's all up here. It's all up here. You know, and there's a lot of people stuck on that plantation. And like I said, I try to put all these things in I guess in song, and I want people to listen to the words on how we are trapped, and that trap, man, has been sprung, and it seems like there's no way out, especially with the leaders that we listen to the most. The Knicks just won the championship, right? And there's a whole bunch of people putting pressure on all of these black men not to go visit Trump. You know, why would it? Listen, if I was on a team, I would tell all those people to kiss my ass. Not because I have any love for Trump, but who the hell are you to tell me who I can go visit? You don't visit the man, you visit the office. The owner of the team offered, and him and Trump are friends because Trump is a New Yorker, right? The owner of the team has accepted the offer to come, and they're asking Jalen Brunson whether they should go or not. What the fuck are you talking about? Excuse my language. If I was on the Knicks, I'm going to the White House. I am going to the White House. We need more black men to stand up to this bullcrap. Now, if you really believe that Trump has been so bad and that keeping illegals out of this country and all of that kind of stuff, getting them out, closing the borders, leveling off the trade deals, and getting gender affirming care out of the way and trying to get it, and all of that other kind of stuff. Oh, the guy might have low character. Well, what's that have to do with you? You visit the White House because you respect the office. You respect the office. So I'd be very disappointed in the Knicks if they do not go. That's just plantation thinking. Your liberal masters tell you what to do, and you genuflect, and then, of course, every one of those masters has a black female with a bullhorn telling you the Jamel Hills and the Carrie Champions and all of these, the squad, telling you that if you go see Trump, you're a bad person. I mean, that's crazy. It's just absolutely absurd. So we definitely are trapped, and we got mental chains on, and we need to break them. We need to break those chains. And so, listen, I got one for you. It's called legacy. We're going to rise again, because I believe that black men need to lead us off the plantation. There'll be people kicking and screaming, trying to fight you tooth and nail, but we got to come on. I'm not saying you need to vote for Republicans. I'm not even saying that. You just need to have independent mindset. That's what we need. We need an independent mindset. We need to change the way we think, the way we vote. We have to make people respect our vote. And right now, the Democrats don't respect our vote. They're trying to replace your black ass with all these illegal immigrants. And a lot of people don't even know that. You're being replaced. So here's another one of my songs. Listen to the words. This is not back in the cotton fields. It's all a metaphor of where we are today and how we need to think for a brand new modern day.
In the shadow of the oak trees, where the too many lives lost their shine, our hands are callous, our hearts are heavy, so many dreams lost in time. Fields stretch out like a memory, whispers blown in the breeze, yearning for a place where we can finally breathe. We are trapped on the plantation, bound by mental chains that leave us drained, but there's a fire inside of us. We will rise again. With our voices, we'll break the silence. With our hearts, we'll find our way through the shackled darkness of our past to a brighter, free thinking modern day. Underneath the midnight sky, stars begin to glow. We gather round in secret, sharing tales of hope. New words of freedom echo boldly, energizing our souls. We'll march to the rhythm of a true dream that makes us whole. We are trapped on the plantation, bound by mental chains that leave us strained. But there's a fire inside of us. We will rise again. With our voices, we'll break the silence. With our hearts, we'll find our way through the shackled darkness of our past to a brighter, free thinking modern day. Every heart that's been broken, every life that's been torn, is a seed of revolution in the fields where we were born. So we'll stand up together, hand in hand we will fight for the dreams of our ancestors. We must claim our birthright. We are trapped on the plantation, bound by mental chains that leave us strained. But there's a fire inside of us. We will rise again. With our voices, we'll break the silence. With our hearts, we'll find our way through the shackled darkness of our past to a brighter, free thinking modern day. So let the winds of change come, let them hear our song. For we are breaking the mental shackles, and we will rise strong from the ashes of our history. A new dawn will appear. Trapped no more, we'll find our way off the plantation, for our freedom is here.
You know, it's funny. A lot of people don't like it being AI. You know, I can dig it. I can dig it. And I wish I was a composer and somebody could do all this from scratch. But I think it's cool because all I did was put down, I forgot what I used as a buzzword for them to write this whole song. And then the tune, I just put it to the genre is reggae. And then later on when I wanted to make a video, I picked this lady, the avatar, and they put her, and I just set up the scenario, and they put her in a cotton field and all that kind of good stuff. I said, man, this is pretty slick. However, this ends that first part of it. Listen, the gynocracy, the Democrats want a woman-led country. And they're using our queens, if that's what you want to call them, in order to, as an experiment, to see how that works, because we have a matriarchal system in the Black community that can be used to spread across all of America, right? And you guys could tell me whether you think it works or not, because it has destroyed the Black community. Our community is decimated. Black men and Black women hate each other, right? And for the most part, when I get married, women want partners. They don't want husbands. And then the men who are so stupid, they don't understand when a woman says, I want you to be my partner, she's not making any vows to you, because you don't have to have a covenant marriage to be a person's partner. So when women use the word partner, they mean that shit. They don't mean anything more than that. And a lot of men will miss that. But let's go to some of the super chats here. Anyway, thanks. It's that Booth and dash H2N. Well, thanks for the $5 to the, is that Booth? That's how you pronounce that. Well, thanks for the $5. I appreciate you being here to the Black Man Unfiltered Network. Come back and hang out. And okay, Katelia, how you doing? Listen, oh yeah, member for 3 months. Yeah. Hey, thanks for appreciating the song. I got 2 more for you. Anyway, because we're going on to the second part of this thing. And you know what? And nobody's come up, but I'll keep ranting. The first part was the gynocracy and the matriarchy and how that the black woman is being utilized. I could say used, but let's say utilized to further the liberal agenda of trying to have female control, of the feminist agenda. I think the ultimate goal is to have women in charge. And I'll have more on that in the future, right? Because we got 2 more mayors coming up of pretty major cities, DC and a new mayor in Detroit. They're both black women. So we'll get back to that. Now, I'm not saying that anything's inherently wrong with that. I want to make sure we're clear. But I want to put it in the backdrop of when we get to that section, because that's what we'll be talking about. The next section I'm talking about is Black Girl Magic. It's Black Girl Magic. Black Girl Magic was coined in 2013. That phrase was coined in 2013 by a woman named Kashawn Thompson. She coined the phrase, and Black Girl Magic kind of took off. And in 2014, a woman trademarked it. Her name was Beverly Bond, B-O-N-D. And one of the things about Black Girl Magic was that even for all its good, there was a dark side to it, because the way it took off, it was at the exclusion of men. It was at the exclusion of their sons, their husbands, their fathers, their uncles. So Black Girl Magic put the AAA effect on steroids, the attention put on steroids, the accolades put on steroids, pageantry, money, everything just solely for women, right? If you were a man, you're not getting any of this. But if you're a woman, the doors are wide open. Affirmation. You could be 5'1", 500 pounds, but you're still the most beautiful thing that ever walked the earth. That kind of shit. You don't need to get in shape, because some of the, that diet don't work for you no more, right? Everybody knows the big woman who was sitting on a stool talking about the diet doesn't work for her, like it's probably after she ate a big ass hoagie. So I'm just saying, manipulation comes in all kinds of form, but this is the kind of form that I'm specifically looking at. I think how you could utilize and get the best work out of black women, because let's face it, as a black man, I've been up against and dealing with black women my whole life, right? I'm in my 60s, and the one thing about black women, and they'll deny this, they have an incessant, just undying inferiority complex. No matter how good they look, no matter what they are, they just have this inferiority complex that makes them vulnerable to the AAA effect. It just makes them vulnerable to it. We could deny it all you want, the hair, the lace fronts, the this and that. And some of that's men's fault. I got to give it to you. Here's the one thing I agree with the women on. We got a whole bunch of men talking about, I want you to look natural hair, natural, none of that shit, the ugly ass fingernails, the long eyelashes, just look like transvestites. So men tell you they don't like that, but they want natural. But when women look at social media, all of those fake women are getting all the attention. They're not getting attention for marriage, but they're getting all the attention. So if attention is what women seek, they're going to do what attention garners. Some of them will go natural, but a lot of women ain't looking for husbands. They're looking to be played with, just like the rest of the chicks out there. So a lot of men fall trap. We say all this bullshit, but we like all the women with the big titties out and all that kind of stuff. So we got to take a hit for that, because we're driving the women to where the attention's at. So we can't, we're not innocent in this whole thing. And women say, I'm not doing this all for men. Well, you're the devil's a liar. Of course, that's what you're doing it for. So anyway, so I'm just trying to say, so Black Girl Magic has a dark side because it's exclusionary from all the men in their lives. And nobody talks about that, right? Nobody really addresses the fact that there is a dark side to Black Girl Magic. And it's a shame But I don't think everybody kind of looked at it that way, right? Because it's supposed to be such a great thing, Girls That Code, as if black kids have a whole bunch of. I remember Girls That Code when that came out. It's still prevalent, but guess what? It kind of presupposes that there's a whole bunch of places for black boys to go and help learn how to write code. There's not. Right, so you got this exclusion, everything that says Girls That Code, because it's assumed that boys can find it somewhere else. Black boys, no, there's no such thing. I used to go to the Kips Bay Boys Club when I was young in the Bronx, and like 5 years in, the women, right, said, "Why is it just a boys' club?" Then they changed it to Kips Bay's Boys and Girls Club, which was fair, right? Because girls wanted to exercise and play basketball and use the facilities, right? So, but Black Girl Magic had no such thing no room for men. And there's nothing that epitomizes that more than Ice Cube when he was trying to put together the contract with America for the black people, and a whole bunch of women came down on him because saying black women's needs are outside the realm of black America. I didn't say that. The women said that. Okay? And it was amazing. Okay? So, listen, I mean, it's just one of those kind of things. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go find that for you. And we're going to play that. I had on one thing. Let me go find it. Where's it at? Anyway, so there was this, like I said, it was just like the Kings of, I think it was the Queens or something that came out, the Queens of whatever. They were on Fox Soul, and that's what they talked about. What's in this thing for us? That's what they were saying. It was weird. It was absolutely weird. So let me go ahead and find that link, and I'm gonna put it up as soon as I get to it. I thought I had it in my thing, but it wasn't there. So just bear with me for a second. We're gonna get it. I'm almost there. All right, here it is. All right, so here it is. I'm gonna share it, and we're off to the races. We're off to the races.
Thing with George Floyd happened.
Yes.
Which shook everybody to our core. When you hear man.
So I just wanted to show you, these are the ladies. Some of them familiar. Barbara Jordan, I believe. Vivica. Lisa Ray with that, whatever the hell she got on her head. And this other sister, I don't know that much. But anyway, this is when he first got on their show. Now, Ice Cube was petitioning both parties, right? This is the second term when I believe Trump was going to run against Biden, right? I don't know what Biden. Yeah, Trump was going to run against Biden, and Biden, patted him on the back and said, "Hey, listen, we might get to it." But Trump had an open door policy. Trump said, "Hey, listen, let me hear what you got to say." Right. But he wasn't beholden to Trump or Biden. He just wanted somebody to take up the mantle of, here's some things that black people specifically need. Right. This is the kind of shit that the Congressional Black Caucus should be doing. Right? And listen, I'm still waiting for somebody to tell me what those freaking people do, other than call themselves the Congressional Black Caucus and have steak dinners every so often and some kind of elegant stuff. What do they do? Well, where did they, in 1971, when they were formed, there was a lot of people don't realize this. Nobody talks about it, that black men coming back from the service when the GI Bill came out, but they were rooked, Right, the GI Bill was implemented in such a way that it was left up to the states to mediate how it was done. And every state, almost every state, excluded black men from getting the benefits of the GI Bill. Where was, even though it was long before 1971, where was the Congressional Black Caucus to go back and heal those men who were wronged by not being able to participate in the GI Bill? Those are the kind of reparations that are called making it right, that you can trace easy. You don't have to be slavery. There's a lot of ills that the government did to people that they made right. If you couch it right with the right lawyers, they still owe a lot of GIs for what they did with the GI Bill. Go look that shit up. Anyway, so he's over here talking to these women, these lovely so-called queens. They call themselves queens. And so he's kind of outlining what he's done, but I'm going to just skip to the part. I'm going to try to skip to the part where it gets nice and a little heated, okay?
I understand that.
I'm not going to give him no plus signs.
I want a plan that pinpoints black people. We don't know if any of them going to do it. But when you have a person on record as a campaign promise, you have more to go at him with, because he's told the world this is what he's going to do. And if he doesn't deliver, he looks bad to everybody. Now, why hasn't dude done it in 3 years? I don't know. Nobody's been pressing him. Everybody's been like, he's the boogeyman, run, and nobody's been pressing him on behalf of black people, because we've been just waiting for Democrats to get back in.
I do not agree with you on that statement. There has been a lot of people that have asked him, what about the wall? What about the kids? I mean, there's a lot of things that,
I understand that.
I'm not going to give him no plus signs whatsoever.
But check this out.
You see the hyena? Vivica, there's a I saw a thing where Vivica Fox goes in on a young 21-year-old man whose mother was wronging him, and she just attacked him. She attacked this young guy. He was crying on the stage. It was like a savage attack. I've never seen something like that before. This woman is bitter, man, and she's paying her dues now.
I'm talking about pressing him to give things to black people. These are country issues. I'm talking about black people pressing him to give things to black people. Everybody treated him like the boogeyman. Nobody would go and press him to give things to black people. The stuff that he's doing to the rest of the country, I understand that, but we raggedy. We got to get our. We have to press any president that ends up winning. We have to press.
Listen, man, you know what? Cube stepped into the lion's den, and it's almost amazing that he got anything out, because when the hyenas get going, man, you don't get no words in edgewise. But he was persistent, and that's because he's Ice Cube.
Press, or it's not going to work. We can't just press one side.
He says when we do press him that the other people are fine people. I mean, is that right? I mean, and he won't denounce the people that hurt us and suppress us, and then the policeman had his neck on somebody's neck for 9 minutes. He never support them.
I'm not here to fight about what he did, what he didn't do. Is he a good white man? Is he a bad white man? To me, they pretty much all the same. So now,
I don't agree with that.
With that said,
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree. I used to be.
Well, look, I know we've had all kind of presidents, and our situation hasn't changed. So that's why.
Yes, no lie. Just absolutely. We had all kinds of presidents. Our situation is still deteriorating. It's 2026, and the shit's still going downhill. It really is. It's not getting better. It's not.
Said they're pretty much all the same when it comes to a president and dealing with our situation.
So let me. I gotta ask this question. Because you're on this show with the cocktails with the queen. And there's a reason for that. It wasn't to have you defend or not defend Donald Trump. It was about, I care about what's in this contract with Black America for women. And it's not, we're not mentioned at all in the contract with Black America. And
when you mention black people, you mention
That just is it, right? That's it right there. That's it right there. Just backing up a little bit.
Contract with Black America. And
I mean, when you mention black people, you mentioning black women. So
Oh,
don't count yourself
no,
out.
that's like administration say that when they
black
mention
people is not black women.
that's the
Black women are not included in black people.
No,
Come on,
it's
ladies.
but that's like, you know, that's like you saying, that's like when the president says minorities, then he's including black people. But we all know that that's not the case. Black women have specific needs that are not also being met. And we also feel that there should be some things that are specific to us and our plight as well. And I
understand that.
I feel like as a black man, you can lead.
No,
I feel like
I just offered y'all to write a section up for it. I just said I don't mind if you guys help us. If you guys help us write a section. No, I've been open to all kind of experts in putting this together. It wasn't just me. We dealt with experts in all fields of this contract with Black America. So
you guys believe that it's a mindset. Now, I would imagine that might be some specific things that they need or whatever. But what do they need after? Because this is like later on in 2018, 2019, 2020, whatever this was, right? But after Black Girl Magic and all the monies that were promised, all the things that's just promised to Black women, all the pageants and all the pageantry and all the open doors, right? It's not like they're not being served, right? The Black community in general is not being served because this was happening, and the divide and the baby mamaism, all that shit was still getting worse, you know, even after Black Girl Magic. Okay. You know, and what right didn't Black women have that everybody had, but they didn't? What? At this point, they were thinking they were the most enrolled in school, all that kind of shit. So it's just a thought process that they have to separate themselves from the Black diaspora in order to get what they want. It's just a bad mojo all the way around. And I think there's a lot of women who still feel the same today. Now, I don't know if they went on and wrote a section. I think Ice Cube just pretty much given up on trying to get that agenda into the hands of somebody who might do something with it. But let's finish this off. And then there's another piece that comes out.
Willing to deal with experts in the section when it comes to women. So that's no problem.
Liberalism is a female.
No, so this is this guy. Listen to this guy. And he finishes off. And he starts out by saying liberalism is a female trait. And I don't disagree with him at all. Now, of course, men could be liberals. But when you think about liberal men, and I'm not talking about actually people getting in fist fights like that. You know, let's move that to the side. We're thinking about the way the men think. This unbridled empathy for everybody, because whether they deserve it or not, we should care for everybody who might not make it.
Trait. So why would a Black man be loyal to liberals? The answer is simple. Simping, or he's gay.
Or he's ignorant.
These are the only two types of Black men that loyally vote Democratic. Black men who vote for Democrats are simply following behind misled Black women.
That's true.
They are men without a backbone. The truth is, for the sake of keeping Black women happy, Black men align with the Democratic Party. Some of them even feign Democrat just to get close to a woman. They have no aura, charisma, and they don't take their apex. So they had to resort to pandering to be around women, because they'd rather be a woman's pet than to be her leader. And they all...
Well, listen, and I stopped it there because we're supposed to stop this every so often anyway. Now, I've seen this spoken out on the white community, white TikTok, where there's a lot of white liberal women who have a litmus test for the men they date. And the first question they ask them, or the question they ask them is, who did you vote for? And then the men, thinking that they might lose some box, start mumbling and stumbling, because some of them are conservative and they voted for Trump. And they know once they tell this liberal chick that they voted for Trump, the date's pretty much over. But instead of just telling a lady, I voted for Trump, so what is it to you? They mumble and stumble, and the girls come on TikTok and laugh at the guys because they know the guys are saying, damn, man, I waited a long time to get a chance to get some of this ass. And now, just because of this one question, I'm going to be eliminated. And God damn it, we already ordered our food. I can't even get my money back. So they strategically wait until they're sitting down and getting ready to eat. So the point really is that guys got to stand on their square. You got to stand on your 10 toes. Like I told my family, I voted for Trump. How can you vote for me? He's a racist. I said, listen, I'm from New York. All of a sudden, he was everybody's best pal. So now he's a racist, but that's not why I voted for him. He's got low character. I can dig it. But I was going to vote for him 10 times over before I vote for Kamala Harris. Open borders, transsexuals in and women's bathrooms, gender affirming care, soft on crime, just liberalism, unfettered immigration. I can't go for none of that shit. Destruction of Title IX, all that kind of stuff. I don't know where people are coming from. It was an easy thing for me, and it's unfortunate. I mean, it's really unfortunate that Trump is the president, because if Vance or the other, Marco Rubio was president, but they had the same fervor as conservative men, but they don't have the baggage, the Democrats would be finished. Because they wouldn't have nobody to hate like they hate Trump. And you could mobilize people around hate.
Always turn out to be weirdos. While some do it for acceptance, others do it out of coercion and threat. Black women have so much power in America that when they unite, they can ruin your life with only a social media account. Black men have been...
Well, let's not gloss over that. It's not just black women. Women in general, right? Women in general can destroy a man with a tweet. Black women can do it, and they call the cops on black men on a regular basis. How many times have we seen a woman lie on a man to get his bag or to destroy him because she's bitter? And it happens more often than not. So, again, the brother's on the money.
Punked by their own women, held hostage to the Democratic Party out of fear. Fear of being labeled a coon or a sellout. Fear of being blackballed.
That's the Knicks right now. The Knicks are contemplating whether they're going to go and to accept an invitation from the president because he's Donald Trump, because they have a fear of being blackballed and all this kind of stuff. And when are men going to stand up and say, listen, it's not up to you guys to decide. Just like what happened to Jackson Dart. He's not black, but he introduced Donald Trump, and he had to do press conferences on why he did it. Man, I would have told everybody to kiss my ass. It's America. It's still America. If I feel like introducing the president, I want all you guys, that's it. Shut up. And now he ain't talking about it. One of his teammates came out, and I would tell my teammate, man, it's none of your business what I do. It's just really, really bad. And these are the people who want to be in charge and want to censor everybody. That whole woke shit has to stop. But men need to stand up and call it out when they see it. You see Stephen A. Smith double packing and, flipping upside down when the women came after him for what he said about Jasmine Crockett, and he was 100% right.
They don't even let black men on the black podcast circuit if they don't align with the Democrats. It's that bad. Black podcasts are in the business of making money, and advertisers don't pay black Republicans like they do black Democrats. Doing so could get your podcast blackballed. It's as if black identity is directly tethered and bound to the Democratic Party. Now that is some good brainwashing. Do you even have leverage if one party knows they can count on your vote? Why should they do anything for you when they know you won't defect to the enemy? This is common sense in negotiations, but women don't think, they feel.
Mm.
And all of black politics is about the feels.
Mm.
They didn't like something someone said or how they said it, blah, 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 blah. But rarely do they examine things without bias. The ignorance of the black vote is held in place by black political grifters who get direct checks from the Democratic apparatus to lie and deceive our people, to make them believe they only have one option. But what happened after Biden got elected? Black pundits and influencers complained that the job opportunities and checks stopped. Why? Because the job is done and they don't need your black ass anymore. You were a DEI hire.
All like
That's exactly right. I mean, you know, it's one of those kind of things that we just need more people to give that perspective of what's going on out there. And that, you know, that black folks have been used by the Democrats for years. A lot of people don't realize that there was 5 separate times where the Democrats had the House, the Senate, the Supreme Court. They had all the power and they did nothing specific for black people. When I say specific, we wouldn't be talking about reparations if they were ever serious about it, because they would have done something about it. They could have made a whole bunch of old veterans whole from being rooked when not being able to participate in the GI Bill. They could have done a lot of things specific to the minority group called Black American, you know, without it being just based on race. It's based on actual wrongs that you could trace to who was actually harmed. So I'm not even talking about slavery reparations, which is a whole lot different than the fact that when a traceable entity does you wrong, you could take them to court to make you whole. And that can happen 10, 20, 30 years after the fact. It don't have to be, you know, the next day. So the point really is, you know, the Democrats have done nothing specific for us but destroy our lives. And we were willing participants. If you think about Sanger and the eugenics program, as a culture of black people, we are marching down to the witch's tower and we're getting rid of all our future leaders by the millions over the years, right? If I'm at a certain economic status and I'm a woman, I might have 1 or 2 deletions. And if I'm at a lower economic status, I use it as birth control. I got 4 or 5 or 6. You know, that's how you get those millions of deleted babies. You know, so, I mean, we're in dire straits. And, you know, and unfortunately, the people with the bullhorns are women. You know, and what are we going to do about it? Well, you know, it's up to women to correct themselves, but it's also up to the men to decide that regardless of what the women do, we need to pull ourselves out of the muck and mire. And some women will follow. And then there's new women being born every day. So the point really is, you keep searching until you find somebody who's willing to get on your program. And if that person doesn't happen to be black, that's okay too. That's okay too. There's a lot of women who have from around the world who have cultural mores still. They're not westernized, not completely. And they might be looking for somebody to bond with in a covenant kind of marriage. So again, and Black Girl Magic had its good parts, but it also had its bad parts, specifically since it's exclusionary of the men in their lives. And again, and here I am, and I'm gonna piss some of you people off because I also took the term the dark side of Black Girl Magic, and I put it into my tool, and it wrote me a song. But this song, I actually modified 50% of it. And then a little while later, I found out I could pick an avatar and put it into another tool and made a video of it. So I got a video of a woman singing the dark side of Black Girl Magic. I think she does a great job. And yes, it's AI. And I'm an engineer, so AI doesn't bother me. You know, AI is here to stay, you know. So I think people got to get used to it or capitalize on it. You know, capitalize on it. So I'm gonna play that for you guys because that's the end of this section. So it's a dark side of Black Girl Magic. So a lot of people don't realize, but I see a dark side, and I'm gonna play and listen to the words because it's not trashing women. It's just saying, listen, with all the good that's being done, there's also a dark side that you need to protect yourself from. Let's go.
In the shadows where the light won't shine, feminist stories are told with evil in mind. Black beauty is masked by lace fronts and filters. She wears a crown of thorns while her community withers. Magic lingers in the dark unseen. This is the dark side of Black Girl Magic. It's born from lies and ashes, leaving life so tragic. With every passing year, she neglects her sons, leaving him unprepared for the world. He's the forgotten one. Her selfish desires echo her queenly dreams of power. With every step she neglects her need for a king. And in the mirror her reflections cause her mind to wander. Nefarious spirits whisper, forget the face of your father. Gather the pieces, rest, recline the spark. This is the dark side of Black Girl Magic. It's born from lies and ashes, leaving life so tragic. With every passing year, she neglects her son, leaving him unprepared for the world. He's the forgotten one. From the depths she must begin to recognize and reflect that Black Girl Magic without a man is not a lasting flight. Don't ever be mad, yeah. In love, so try not to be fancy. She reclines myself, leaving him unprepared for the world. He's a forgotten one.
What's going on, man?
Chilling. That's that's interesting.
What's happening, man?
That is very interesting.
So listen, I'm on my third part of this thing. So have you seen any of the show already?
I've watched.
I'm not going to go back.
Yes.
All right. So one of the things I talked about the whether the sisters are being used as pawns. We could consider them queens, but every so often in chess they sacrifice the queens in order for a greater move. So I'm just saying the last part I was going to say is the accolades part, that the achievements that Black women have made in the public sector is something that can't be denied. It's something that can't. They're being elected. They're going off, but there's a problem, and I wanted to kind of talk about the problem, and I got to go through a list of things that is hitting the news, because with the greater response, with the, I guess, the greater accolades, the higher your responsibility is for your community. You know, so if you're a judge,
it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. So if you're a judge, I'm not supposed to catch you banging out the police fucking chief in your office. You know what I'm saying? That's just not supposed to happen. You know, I mean, come on. And you're a married woman and your husband's a judge down the hall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, her husband's a judge too. He's got to be in the same building.
I mean,
so their marriage is fractured. He has to know they're probably both in an open marriage or something. So, but that's just one example. So what I was going to do, and since you're here, I mean, you have any comments on what you think the Democrat Party uses? No, just this one is about black women, but don't they use the people they need as pawns? Period. That's both parties probably.
Right.
But we're just talking about. So this one's
when it comes to black women and the Democrats, I think they've just been the most loyal. They've not really had much standard for their participation as a Democrat. A lot of brothers as well, but within the last, I think, like 10 years, you know what I'm saying, brothers have started changing some of that.
Yes.
I think black people, period, you know what I'm saying, got a chronic pilgrim acceptance syndrome that, you know what I'm saying, we potentially suffer from. And, you know, when it comes to Republicans, you know, you learn this in a conscious community. They said that the Democrats were punks and the Republicans were bullies.
Yeah.
And I guess they stood more of the middle lane or whatever. But when it comes to the Democratic Party, I mean, I've never understood how a black person can be a Democrat, ever.
Okay.
It never made sense to me because out of either of the two parties, you're clearly supposed to go with the Republicans because at least they're not lying with how they feel about you, what they think about you, all of that.
Okay.
The Democrats lie right in the face of all of their supporters, every time, and they line right back up. So I think this is more than just a Democrat-Republican political thing. I think this is more cultural. No different than how I believe feminism hit black women.
Right.
I call it the coldest form of pimping in the history of all existence. And I think that because of that, you know, basically the white woman was able to get in the black woman's ear at a time where the black family was, you know what I'm saying, fighting for enrichment, uniting, you know what I'm saying, culture, community, all that. You know what I'm saying? White bitch was able to get in black women ear at the same time when we find this whole damn system right in front of the world. And she was able to tell her, that nigga right next to you, helping you fight us ain't shit.
Yeah.
And the Democrat is able to get into their ear about, you know what I'm saying, some saying wicked shit.
You know, here's another thing. I'm trying to sound like I'm innovative, but I thought about how did they really capture our sisters so bad. And one of the things I think about black women, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think in general, and it doesn't have to do necessarily with the way they look, but they carry this incessant, this unbreakable inferiority complex because they're always comparing themselves to maybe the white thing. You know, I don't know if you think that's true or not, but there's a lot of inferiority complex. They got all these phobias over some shit, right? Weight, this, looks. And so I'm thinking that I think the Democrats use a simple strategy to snare them in: attention, accolades, and affirmation. Those three things put on steroids, you can get a black woman with their attention, because all women like attention. So social media, mentioned, you know, it could be on steroids. Accolades, there's no shortage of black women on social media trying to tell everybody how smart they are.
Right.
And what they've accomplished.
And the white girl voice.
You know what? It's kind of funny. I did a show here on BMU on this channel that, you know, your accolades are important to you, and I'm not going to poo them. But if I want to marry you, that's not why I'm marrying you.
But why are they important to them?
Well, I mean, because they took the time to achieve.
No.
Okay, tell me why you think it. Well, that's part of it. It has to be because it takes time and effort to achieve shit, right?
Okay.
But where are you going? Where are you going with it? Where are you going?
But then they rock it like police rock badges and shit.
No, That's the bad part of it. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I know you was going.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, all right, you accepting the degree. We already understand what the social situation is in all of these, in the bulk of these institutions when it comes to a black high achiever, you know what I'm saying, participating in the race for, you know what I'm saying, the goal or the trade, you know what I'm saying, the degree or whatever. They act as if they got it with open arms, like everybody knew that we were this good and this and that. And it's like, well, nah, wait a minute. Y'all know that y'all had to go through some shit.
Right.
And you know that you had to go through some shit because you were black, in the same way that a black man will have to go through some shit there because we're black. But the thing is, they try to wear that the woman part of it. That's the shit that shows you the feminism. You know what I'm saying, tincture with it. The fact that it's a woman thing. Bitch, this is their degree that you got. You didn't create the degree. You didn't create the motherfucking program. You didn't create none of that. You just went through it. But that's the way that they carry it, you know.
No, I'm listening. I'm not arguing with you at 100%. So that's one part of it, but there's like layers to it. The other layer is that if they actually found a guy who liked them and who wanted to cuff them, marry them, and all that, he's not doing it because you got the degree. You have to have some other characteristics that are worth keeping, you know. So, but the last one, affirmation. This is a big one for black women. Right? It's just a big one. You got to affirm almost all the shit they do, whether it's dumb shit or not. Whether they're 5'1", 400 pounds, I got to tell you, you're a 10. You're a 10. You know what I'm saying? Right? You got to tell, if you tell them they're a 10, she's yours forever. You know, like, you know, the guy, remember the big lady was trying to get into my man's small car in the back and she sued him?
Yeah.
It was, but you know what I'm saying? She would have destroyed my man's car, man. You know, he says, you know, he was like, "Oh, what should I do?" But
that shows you just how much they are under some pretty dope programming, though, because the logic isn't there, and just, you know, it ain't got to be all logic with them, but it's like, look, show me some basic, practical logic that you're moving on, not hope, not dreams. Not the game that you know what I'm saying, the society sells you. Show me that y'all can think on some 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 and not be in near. You know what I'm saying? It's like they feel through everything the way that white bitches told them to feel. And you know what I'm saying, black women don't have the liberty to try to be feeling like a white bitch.
Well, I'm with you. I'm with you. So here's my last thing about, and it's funny because I just saw O'Shea Duke Jackson try to actually do this, because I've been doing this shit for a while, about taking inventory of the sisters who made, you know, have garnered success, but at the same time blew it. You know what I'm saying? They actually, so I just got to find the damn thing.
What's the measurement of success, though?
Well, I'm talking about when they achieve an office or something like that.
Okay.
All right. So let me just show this. I got a whole list of this shit, right? So this is the thing. Let me go ahead and do it this way. Right. Oh, I can't see you this way. Let's keep it this way. No, let me see. There you go. Listen. So the question here is, can liberal black women be trusted to reign over a critical government or judicial offices, or would they be overcome with pride and power? You know, so I've had a couple of shows on this, and the list keeps getting bigger. You know, it just keeps getting bigger. Yeah. All right. So, and this is in the last 10 years, and I'm gonna just run through this. And if you stop me at any person, this sister Pugh, she was a mayor in Baltimore. She did 3 years in prison for fraud. Okay, everybody knows Tiffany Henyard, right? She's from this nondescript little town that none of us should know about, but she was such a devil as a mayor that she became a national disgrace. Tiffany Henyard. Now she's trying to run as a Republican in Atlanta.
Okay.
Doña Sotomayor, right? She was the first mayor of a North Carolina town, but she had to resign.
From Sartor?
Sartor, right? Sartor, right? So she's a sister. She had to resign. She pulled a gun on a cop. They had to order her files. She got into all kinds of trouble.
Okay.
Of course, we know Fannie Willis, who hired a guy for $700,000 and banged the money out of him on nice lavish trips, and blew the case with Donald Trump.
Okay.
Right. So, and she's still County Marilyn Mosley. Pretty little thing, right? Fraud, mortgage fraud. She didn't do any time, but when it was time for Biden to pardon her, he forgot all about her ass, and she was a hard, a real supporter of him and the Democrats, and they're all liberal Democrats. Jasmine Crockett, liberal Democrat, condescending, cosplay queen with an $800,000 education, try to act like a little ratchet chick. So when she ran for Senate, the Democrats abandoned her.
Okay.
And they put somebody else in. Now she didn't commit no crimes, but we saw how she acted and behaved.
So who you think's supposed to be in there besides these chicks then? So do you see a pattern with these chicks? And the pattern that you identify with them is that they're not of a certain kind of integrity. I think politics is dirty anyway. You feel me? So I'm trying to think, is there dirt? Is it that they got caught while they were trying to participate dirtily in the dirty game, or they don't know how to do dirty the right way in the dirty game? And other women need to be selected.
No, I hear your question. My thing is that I put liberal Democrats because that's where they sit. Okay. I would prefer them to be all successful. I would prefer them to be successful. You achieved the office. There's people out there who voted you in or elected you in, and I expect you to act right. Don't be fumbling the bag. Don't, you talk about this glass ceiling, right? If I got a list of 20 women who fumbled the bag, why would I vote for the 21st?
True that.
You know what I'm saying? Why? So they're ruining it. They're talking all this shit on one end, but if I have
but they're not going to put a brother in that position.
Well, hold on for a second. We'll get to that. I mean, I just want to go through. But you're right. But that part of it we could just discuss. Mm-hmm. But this is primarily to show that women have, when they say they don't have opportunities, well, that's a lie. Because we have a list of them who not only had opportunity, they succeeded, and then they blew the bag.
Okay.
Right, and that's the bad part of it. You succeeded, and then you blow the bag. Natalie Hall. She found a guy that she liked who was one of her subordinates. He was not only busting her out everywhere in the office and all of that stuff. She put a tracking device on his car. She put a tracking device, and then he sued her because she fired him, and he won $1 million.
Oh, really?
Okay. I mean, come on. Harriet Thompson in New York, she's a judge. She's a homophobe, of course, and they kicked her off the court because she's not timely. Her docket was full, and they have all kinds of allegations of racism and stuff like that. So they made her resign.
Wait. She's racist and homophobic.
And a homophobic.
Because hold up. The very first thing that they throw at you, they say you're racist, sexist, and then say homophobic. So she can't be sexist, but they gave her the other two.
Well, let me put it this way, but they usually have a white face by saying that, right? Not a black face.
No. That's usually blackface. They'll say racist, sexist, homophobic. It's the liberal trifecta.
All right, so another sister here, Christine Peterson. She was a judge, and they fired her for systematic incompetence. And she also got a felony. They had a video of her in the back of a police car, drunk as a skunk, titties almost falling out of her dress because she didn't have she had some nice knockers too.
Nice.
And she's giving a cop a hard time, so she gets kicked out of her. So she's a judge.
But look, this just shows you black women ain't supposed to be in power.
Well, let's just keep going. Patrice Cullors. I don't know if it's
no power.
Patrice Cullors, a BLM. She's a BLM lady
That bitch don't
who's a lesbian, but she made millions off the backs of dead black men.
She don't count. She not even from our fucking community. She ain't even connected to our culture. She utilized black with a Rich Peckerwood as some form of the branding of black. Hence Black Lives Matter, as opposed to Hands Up, Don't Shoot, which was the actual call out there in Ferguson when them nasty motherfuckers jumped their ass on the, you know what I'm saying, in the way.
There you go. Another one, LaTosha Brown. Just, Allentown, PA. She made this noose and said somebody put a noose on her thing, but the only DNA on the noose was hers.
And that bitch got blonde hair too. Think about it.
Yeah. I can't stand it.
So who is she trying to get in trouble? Wait a minute. She got blonde hair. Obviously, she, you know what I'm saying? She revered these motherfuckers to some form of degree. All y'all that got blonde hair, y'all revere these motherfuckers to some form of degree.
Isn't that weird, man? That's the craziest shit, man. These sisters talk about that shit and they got blonde. I mean, I can't stand it, man.
Yeah.
If they really, the funny part about it is maybe some lighter skinned sisters might be able to rock it. But if you're dark skinned, man, you look really weird, man, with blonde hair.
They all look weird with blonde hair unless it's natural on their head. The thing is, even if it's natural on their head, it ain't natural like a white bitch is.
No.
So wear a black woman's blonde hair, you know what I'm saying? Because we know that happens, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sneaky master or sneaky overseer, you know what I'm saying? 200 years back, we know how it goes, whatever. Or, you know what I'm saying, honkies in the 1940s, whatever. All right, it happens how it happens. But don't try to turn it to a white bitch blind.
It never looks good.
Never.
Okay, LaToya Cantrell, she just got out of being mayor. She's indicted now. And she was a pretty hard ass mayor down in New Orleans, right? You got to be kind of hard down there. And she did a couple things. She's banging out. First of all, if you have a female mayor, it's good to be the police chief because they're giving you bonds. So she's banging out her police chief.
No shit.
Right? Yeah, so she's married, but then they also misappropriated funds. And so she's under some kind of indictment. One of the things she did was
wait a minute. Do you think that these women launched these ventures into the corruption that you're identifying? Or do you believe that their corruption was already present? They were trying to play the reindeer games on the Cosby side of the game. You know what I'm saying? When he tried to buy NBC or whatever. Hey, I'm like one of you, whatever. And they're like, nah, this is power. You can't play at this level because, so you can be here as an icon or as some form of a symbol or as some form of a token, right? Right. But you can't get the true juice that we got.
Yeah, and you should stop trying to be like them. My point is, listen, in New Orleans, I can't imagine what it feels like to be in a major city and you're the mayor. The power has to be off the charts.
You got to be
right. If you can't handle the power, it's going to corrupt. You're going to press the boundaries of what you can and can't do. And if you saw the white guy before you do it or this guy before you do it, you're going to say, well, why can't I do it?
As a black woman, they ask themselves.
Man, black women.
Black men know not to ask themselves that to a degree. I know, you know what I'm saying, some niggas are stupid. You know what I'm saying, they get out of how to do.
Black men need to ask themselves that, but black women, they say, who's going to check? She lived a life of who's going to check me, boo?
Yeah.
I mean, that's them, right? The black women, who's going to check me? So here's what she did. Here's another thing she did. They had a palatial mansion that the city owned for dignitaries, VIPs.
Okay.
Right? Just there for them when they came in. She moved into that motherfucker. and they wanted her to get out. She moved in. Man. And rent free for her 2 terms. They tried to get out. She said, who's gonna check me, boo? And she stayed in there for a whole term, man. Hell yeah. She just moved in. She said, I don't give a shit what y'all having for. I'm taking it. That's the kind of power I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's nuts. And can't nobody do nothing? Can't nobody say
nothing? Who? You mean who? Who's gonna go drag her ass out? They're gonna drag her ass out.
The senator. Wait a minute. Wait. Okay. Okay.
She's a mayor.
Oh, former mayor. She's a former mayor.
Right.
Okay.
She's not in there, but she became mayor. She moved in.
I'm saying, who's higher than the mayor then?
Well, the governor has nothing to do with that.
Why not?
Because it's a city property.
So the governor's connected to the state, not the city.
Yeah, the governor's not going to get down into the city. But there's like city aldermen and city this, council and all that.
Yeah.
They yelled at her. They screamed at her. They told her to get out. I think they tried to take her to. She says, "I'm not leaving," and they just moved on to the next thing. They just moved on to the next thing.
Wait a minute. Okay, that's crazy.
Shit, man. She was a tough ass chick, you know. So and then now she's in trouble. She had a storied career that ends in bullshit. Patricia Martin, another liberal judge, retired Cook County, another judge. She ripped off her 96-year-old uncle, Tuskegee Airman. She stole all his money and refused to pay him back.
That's her. I read about that.
Yeah, and refused to pay him back. And she didn't get into any real trouble for that.
So what does it mean to be a judge, period, if you can operate within corruption, but nobody can check you, boo?
That's it, man. That's exactly it. Nobody can check you. Shit.
The fuck?
Tracy Jones, another liberal Democrat.
Damn, this is a long list.
Yeah, really? I just keep putting that they're all liberals. They're all liberal Democrats.
Yeah.
So former Atlanta House, she's a housing authority senior, guilty of federal fraud charges, COVID, Section 8, you know, the whole 9 yards, man. Vouchers, all shit that's traceable, by the way. All this shit is traceable.
I mean, but they try it. You know what I'm saying? They try it. But the thing is, I wonder. I would like to talk to these chicks to see if they see another judge. Fuck.
No, man. Of course, you know they're just trying to get away with what they can get away with. Okay, so here's another judge. She tried to murder her boyfriend. She shot him in the head, and she shot him. And he was cheating, right?
So
I think he cheated. So he's sleeping, right? So she shoots him in the head, and so they're in court. And she tried. Her defense was, "How does he know it was me? He didn't see me." Because he's the only one. So her defense is, he was sleeping. How do you know it was me? You know what I'm saying? That's
that's a scandalous bitch right there. She was a judge.
She's trying to kill him, man. He
lived. Man, what the fuck?
Golly, man. You know, and it's a shame. It's just, of course, Bigfoot Letitia James.
Oh shit!
Now she did get indicted, but the people that Trump had in place were so incompetent that the charges couldn't stick. You know, so they indicted him for this fraud, and it's still out there, but nobody's going to touch it because he can't get anybody to come after her. You know, so she dodged the bullet. Of course, he would like to get her. Lori Lightfoot.
This motherfucker. Hey, what's up, dude? What it do? Lori Loke, what's good? That motherfucker look weird.
Oh man,
Lori Lightfoot. Man, look, kid, you see that bitch on the ballot and be like, I'm finna hire her. What the fuck did she tell you to make you say, you know what? She has my vote.
Well, you know what? You know why? She went in as the first lesbian alphabet mafia
community. All right, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but she had a tumultuous relationship with the police and everything, man. It was just a bad. She was the first mayor who couldn't get reelected in 40 years.
Who the fuck would select that bitch?
Hey, man, you know what? You can't race. She don't have to be pretty to be mayor.
Hold on. Wait. So the thing is, she was the first mayor of the black mayor, or whatever. Open
for Chicago. In Chicago.
Well, I mean, you know, a lot of them is like that. A lot of them more on Capitol Hills like that. Whatever, it is what it is. But the thing is Chicago turning one of them cities?
Well, Chicago's a blue city, of course. But to tell you the truth,
but Chicago's a black mecca.
I
guess it ain't so much dark country as DC used to be.
No, that's not like DC. But the point really is that she's bad, but the guy who came after her is even worse. So Brandon Johnson is even worse than she is. All right. Of course, Mayor Bass, no criminal activity, but she was over there fiddling in Africa while Los Angeles burned.
Wow.
Yeah. And then she hired a DEI police chief who also hired a second in command DEI lesbian police second in command. And it was just a comedy of errors, and she might win another.
It's LA though, so you're gonna have some weird shit going on in LA.
No, down in LA. Okay, well, Keisha Bottoms. Now, she doesn't have any criminal activity, but she had a terrible 4 years as mayor. She pretty much kind of wanted to resign. I mean, there was a whole bunch of violence going on. They had a big cyber attack. They had a corruption investigation. They had C-19 issues. They had a whole bunch of social unrest. And so she didn't run for a second term. But guess what? She's running for governor now.
Okay.
She's coming back to run for governor of Georgia. So, and I tell you what, and she's, of course, a liberal Democrat. And if she won governor, then we're talking about making Georgia into a sanctuary state. And then we'll get into that, whole bullshit of hiding illegal aliens and all that shit in that state. So I just put her there. Of course, the big kahuna, Kamala Harris, Miss Cosplay as a black woman, right?
Yeah, for real.
And, thank God she didn't win. And, open borders, the borders were open right up again, and she is just bad news. And of course, here's another one, Susan Hudson. She's the sheriff. Remember maybe around 6 months ago, there was a jailbreak in New Orleans.
Yeah, I
and
remember
all those guys. She was in the middle of it. She was the warden.
She was the warden of the jail.
Yeah, so she's implicated in letting those guys out.
Okay, so for the sake of what though?
Yes, man. Listen, okay.
Listen, mean, again, I come right back to the practicality behind their value intention for making the moves and the selections that they make, right? And that's why I asked the question: do you think that they, and all y'all in the chat too, for real, respect. Thanks for y'all for rocking with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to BMU. Do y'all think that they are initiating these motions, or do you think that they are participating in an already established?
Combination of both. I think it's a combination of both. If there's nothing there, I think they would initiate something if they find an opportunity.
Okay.
Or if there's something going on, they might take part in it. Here's what I would say to you about women in male prisons. Okay. Right. Here's the first thing you can't do is have women who govern men in prison. They certainly can't be prison guards.
Why not? Why not? What's wrong with that? What's wrong? Look, I ask female prison guards what's that, and they'll say you're not supposed to do that, fraternizing and all this. But I'm like, look, we're humans.
No, that's right.
Us being humans, you're gonna have.
Yeah, so then you answer your own question then.
Okay, so they're not supposed to do nothing. Okay, so humanity is not supposed to weigh more than the fact of how we want we want this new age slavery.
The answer is that you only have male. The answer is you only have male prison guards in male prisons. You put a woman and you got guys, man. And listen, if you're in prison with a whole bunch of hard legs, a woman who looks like Quasimodo will start looking like Greta Garbo.
Hell yeah. So they know. Okay, so this is the thing, though. You mean to tell me that you don't think that they don't know that that's going down like that? You don't think that some of that is a setup for?
Well, who set it up? Well, go ahead, finish.
Okay, this is the thing. When it comes to the social contract, right? You got the social contract versus biological instinct, and social contract does not beat out biological instinct.
I agree.
So we could say that within the hiring of female prison guards, New Age slavery, 13th Amendment bullshit, that is a preference that the social contract is going to hold up as opposed to human intention and human instinct. So with that, you have to assume that they know it's going to occur. They know it's likely to occur. And the only reason why they're selecting the female guards is either to either let up on some of that, to say, okay, we're going to sacrifice, I guess, some of our preferred integrity of no fraternization, which is a moral thing, and I don't think fucking prisons are moral, be them state,
okay, so
federal,
why would
private.
I know you're trying to end up here saying that they're actually going ahead and bucking against nature because they want to be altruistic, but giving somebody a job.
But that's the thing. Okay, it's not just a job; it's a relationship when you're in that type of capacity.
But my point really is that listen, is this brass tack being brass tack? Everybody knows that you can't put women in a male prison with guys who have been cooped up because the natural thing is going to happen.
Right, nature.
Just
white people have always been trying to see if they can control nature.
Well, yeah. So the fix is just hire male prison guard, and the vice versa is true too. You can't when you put male prison guards in female prisons, they're extorting sex from those women, right? They're extorting. Some of them giving it freely, but that woman who wants an extra pair of socks, or she wants a little bit more money in her canteen,
right?
She's doing the thing, and there's no shortage of prison guards who probably will comply.
True.
Just compromising everybody. That's why if you don't, so when you mix the sexes, either way, you got to be naive or stupid as a rock to know that shit ain't going to be going on.
Right.
Right. So, and it's the same thing when they try to put a transvestite man in a female prison. He still got his Johnson. The women don't care. Yeah, they're putting guys who are transvestites in female prisons, and all the women are turning up pregnant all over the place. Women are turning up pregnant all over the place, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. It's just so stupid. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. All
right, what's the next shit? God damn, this is a lot of failure right here. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Eleanor Ross, another liberal. This is the federal judge who just recently got caught. She just got finished court. She's banging out the police chief in her office, and it turns out she's a screamer. So she's in the office. She's in her office, man, and she got all her guys and shit around, man. And she's banging out the guy in the office.
Yeah, run that bitch through. You know what I'm
man. Can you imagine you going over, they walking past the door, oh daddy, all kinds of shit, man. Come on. And she's a judge. And she's not bad looking either. She's married. She's married.
Marriage don't mean shit in none of this game. It's supposed to. They don't mean nothing no more. We're in the future, man.
Obviously. The next one is they miss a lot of judges, man.
Yeah, judge. Nigga, I'm a holler, cuz they freaks now. Nigga, you know what I'm saying? You know there's a motherfucking freaks.
You see a black woman, you get to do shit. You see a black woman in the bar, you say, I'm a judge. You automatically say, oh, you must be a freak.
You know what I mean? Bitch, you want to be spanked and choked. Which one? You feel me?
That's so funny. So here's another one. She's suspended indefinitely because of her activities as judge. Misconduct, administrative failure, all kinds of things. What the hell, man? Another one. Monique, mayor. Here's another mayor.
Fucking mayor, cuz. Man, black women in power is some freaks. Okay.
Yeah, so this one, she defrauded some COVID funds. They bumped her case down from a felony to a misdemeanor, and they gave her no jail time and a slap on the wrist.
Oh, nasty bitch.
Right. Okay. So this is the point I was trying to make. That's a whole list of like 23, 24 women who got to a certain power and they corrupted. So this woman, Mary Sheffield, that you see on your screen here, just got elected mayor in Detroit. This other one here is going to be the new mayor, Janice, in Washington, D.C. come But look at the picture with Mary Sheffield.
Yeah.
This is not a mistake that they have this woman with all these men behind her. I'm in charge, and you Negroes work for me. Right? That's just, you could interpret it that way. So as soon as I saw this picture, I said, you know what? What's wrong with this picture? All the strong, buxom black men are sitting there behind her, and she's got a handout. I'm in charge, and these Negroes are my army.
Do you think that perhaps the ruling elite could be in utility of these black women, blackness as a branding for, you know what I'm saying, just putting them in the position of a hollow idol, if you will, and just mere, you know what I'm saying, surface representation, merely because they're black. And when they start, you know what I'm saying, they can't really do the real shit. So, you know, they try to partake in, you know what I'm saying, some of the lackadaisical fade game fuck shit that that go on within the politic process. You feel me?
Well, no. Listen. I think the funny thing and the irony of it all, if it's the right word, is that these ladies are educated to actually take on these particular roles because they have like soft skills. They go to school for things like, you know, that are literary, right? They'll go for psychology. They'll go for things that give them a leg up in front of a podium where they have to speak in front of people, where they got to do those kind of things. And so they're easier on the eyes. If they're liberal and you're in a blue city, people like, it's like a new trend for voting for women and all these kind of things, right? Mm-hmm. The problem I have is not the women themselves, is what they do with the power.
Yeah, that part.
It's not, you know, listen, I think it's an accolade. I got daughters. If they were, you know, if they were able to become into politics and became a judge or a mayor or alderman or whatever the hell it is, I mean, that's something to say, great. But what are you going to do with that power?
Right.
Are you going to jump on the first scheme that gives you an extra buck in your pocket? You know, if I'm a mayor and you like the guy you just hired, he's cute. Am I have to worry about, you know, you guys locking the door and he's banging you out in the goddamn room? You know, I mean, because when a man does that, when a man fools around with a female subordinate, his life is almost over.
Done.
He's done. He is absolutely done.
A different set of moral standards.
Right. So all I'm trying to say is when I look at these two ladies, I don't have anything on them, and I just hope that they do the right thing. Here's another two opportunities. DC is a major city, right, and of course Detroit is even bigger. So I'm saying now you guys got the reins of power. Am I going to see you a year from now with her picture and a mugshot saying, you know, she did something stupid? Or this one here, and she's a socialist, by the way. This one is a little bit more conservative. But this one here.
What the fuck do that mean when they're in the position of a mayor for a major city? What does that mean? If they're socialists or the liberals? What, I mean,
well, being a socialist means that you want to take over all the means of power, or all the means of production, right? So you're for freezing rents, you're for taxing the rich till they leave and move, and you're for big government. You're for big government and control of everything. You know, you're not a free market person anymore because you inherently think the free market is bad.
But when it comes to a mayor,
they set rules. They set the agenda.
So each mayor can set a subjective agenda.
If listen, in Mondani in New York, for example, he had a plan. But the truth of the matter is he also has a board of directors, has a board that's under him. But the point really is he picks the members of the board.
Okay.
So if he needs to go through them, he's going to pick guys who are in line with his thought process.
Right.
So when it comes time to a vote, he has this idea. He could almost get a unanimous vote on all kinds of shit he wants to do. Now, the only time he has a governor is when he needs something from the state. And the governor says, listen, I can't, I hear what you're trying to do, but you need my permission. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
You know, so that's his only governor. Other than as a mayor, he has like absolute power. You know, he could determine what the police do and who they cooperate with and how much and where he has them stationed and located and what the priorities are. He can do all that.
But see, that's the thing that interests me when it comes to a mayorhood. The fact that they say it's the people who choose. Is it the people who choose the mayor, or is it the current running economic power structure that was running with the last mayor came? Is it the people or the private sector? Because to me, if they're able to fuck off like this and black women can have all this kind of fun, we already know that there's, black women are more malleable, and that's pretty much all that they accept from them. But again, when it comes to participating in the execution of power,
okay,
they're not down with them with that. They, you run some orders or some shit, but as far as the power, and they never flex it for the community. So this is my question to anybody.
Okay,
when it comes to operating within a position of power, right? And you know that other people are there and other groups are there operating under their own group, personal, subjective, even if you want to, tribal behalf. What is it about your black ass and your blackness that connects you into being beholden, into being beneficial toward your community when you're in that position? This mayor, police officer, DA, right? You know what I'm saying? Lawyer, judge.
Yeah, but isn't that an individual thing? You should have a desire to do well once you get into those positions for your constituency, and that's the people who vote you in. Right?
Okay,
they voted you in.
But is black women constituency black people?
Well, hold on. If I'm a mayor of Detroit, she got voted in by all people, the majority of people, period, black, white, and indifferent.
Okay.
It's not just black people. If it, it's
okay, but when somebody of any other so-called color or background and they get in there and they start rocking, what do? They bring in their folks every time.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
They start lining to make sure that there are some avenues that are prepared for their people. Now, not exclusively their people, no, but.
Well, I think that's true. I think that's true for all of them, though. I think that's true for the black politicians as well.
Oh no, fuck no! Come on.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. No. Let me tell you. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Mayor Johnson's on record, even though he's an asshole, and he put more assholes in power. But he's on record saying this is how his hiring practices were. He hired mostly black people for certain jobs to make sure he gave back. Right, even though he was mayor, he was elected mayor by more than just black people. He got black people in a lot of strategic positions. Mm-hmm. He was a teacher, so the teachers union, he took care of them, right, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, these guys do that too. Mm-hmm. But again, that's the politics of it. That's the part. You take care of your own. They just do that. I mean, do the black ones kind of lean to just put whites around them? Maybe some whites, some won't. But the truth about what I just did with the ladies we saw is the only point I was making is that here's some ladies who achieved these high heights and they fumbled the bag. They fumbled the bag because of hubris, right? Because of their pride, because they thought that they're untouchable. Like I said, nobody could check me now that I got this job. Who's looking? First, who's looking? And if I do get caught, I could probably get out. Maybe shooting somebody in the head is a little bit harder than, trying to steal some money. But the point is
fucking on site though. This all right. So let's keep it 100. Yeah, a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? They fucking on. They fucking on site, dog. You know what I'm saying? You on the job, fucking.
Hey, listen, man.
No. Wait, hear me now.
Go ahead.
That's totally different than merely misappropriating funds.
Okay, so that's another item. That's another line item, man.
That's totally different. Look, when it comes to power, absolute power would potentially corrupts. Absolutely, right. All right.
Yeah.
And that's
right.
Any one of us, right? Potentially
right.
given a certain amount of power.
Okay.
Bam. Misappropriation of funds, making sure that perhaps you get a little bit of toxic, high-level nepotism, you know what I'm saying, amongst your own. I can understand that, right? Fucking on site, knowing that you fucking own the premises. And loud fucking. Have fun fucking. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
you making a day of it.
So Rogish, let me put it to you this way. What more signifies that you're on top of the world and nobody can touch you as opposed to fucking on site with people next door?
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
I whip my dick out anywhere. Can't nobody say nothing. Fuck y'all. I'm on top of the motherfucking world.
You know what I'm saying? I'm in my office. I'm a mayor. I got the things begging me out. I want you to hear it just so you know. So what's good shit? I can embezzle money in secret. I want you to know what I'm doing, goddamn.
You know what I'm
saying?
Can't do shit. I mean, this bitch probably doing all the goddamn corruption, and she busted it open right there in the office 101.
It's incredible. So again, you gotta bear with me because even now I got a song for the sisters for the future. I want them to hear the love. All you sisters, the one or two of you who are out there, I got something for you. If you're going for high office, I want you to listen to the words of this song. And so you know that you have a higher calling. You got a higher calling and just, that power, you need to respect it. So here goes. There's only a couple of minutes, man. Just chill out. Just a couple of minutes. And I like the voice of this lady here.
In shadows of the throne where the echoes play, crown thorns adorn with dreams of yesterday. With every step I took up that stony road, I reached for the stars, but I carried a heavy load. Hubris, the fall from grace, chasing shadows, lost my place with fire in my veins. I touched the sky. The price of pride made me blind, made me cry. Oh, the cost of pride, it's a heavy toll, a heart enthroned in a fragmented soul. The whispers of the wise, I ignored their call. Caught up in the grandeur, I was destined to fall. In the mirror of my mind, I saw a guiding goal. The higher the mountain, the darkened my soul. Hubris, the fall from grace, chasing shadows, lost my place with fire in my veins. I touched the sky, but the price of pride made me blind, made me cry. Oh, the cost of pride, it's a heavy toll, a heart enthroned in a fragmented soul. But in the silence, the truth does gleam, a flickering light in a shattered dream. I'll rise from the ashes with lessons learned, a whispered promise for my bridges burned. Hubris, the fall from grace, chasing hubris, the fall from grace, chasing hubris, the fall from grace, chasing shadows, lost my place with fire in my veins. I'll touch the sky, but the price of right made me blind, made me cry. Oh, the cost of pride, it's a heavy toll, a heart enthroned in a fragmented soul. So here I stand with my humbled heart, embracing the scars, a brand new start. With wisdom gained from the ashes I rise. No longer blind, I reclaim the skies. Oh, the cost of pride, now a tale I tell. For it's in our faults we must learn to cover well.
There you go. Right. So, hey, ladies out there, you take that to heart, man. You know, learn to govern well. That's what you got to do. So, you know, so my whole thing is that's basically the three parts. One, the gynocracy needs the matriarchy that the blacks have developed to actually take hold, and it has. The whole Democratic Party on that side, the liberalism is feminine based. It is no doubt about it. The second part is that I think that when Black Girl Magic really took off, for all the good it's done, it was exclusionary, and they automatically forgot that they got brothers and sons and husbands and fathers, and all the accolades they got, they kept them to themselves. And I think that made a mistake. And the third part was what I just showed you. All the success that the sisters are having in public life, they're fumbling the bag. They're fumbling the bag, and that's a bad part of it.
You said a matriarch that was created through a black cultural dynamic. That's interesting. Yeah, because the current one that's installed is not of our doing or intention.
Well, listen, you know, I think it evolved that way, right? Because of the deal that was made with the civil rights movement. And it wasn't all women, but once the women separated themselves from the men in the house, they started having generations of women raising the kids by themselves without the men. I did it. The grandmother, great grandmother did it. The grandmother did it. The daughter did it. Now the kids are doing it. So after a while, even if it was a smaller fraction of women who took that deal, when you add 60 years, it's a lot of people.
Yeah, but when you add 60 years,
it's a lot of people.
You get to an irreversible point.
Well, remember now. But here's the thing.
Because the thing is, we're talking.
I'm not disagreeing. I agree.
We're talking human condition.
I don't disagree.
And within the current style of social conditioning, that the human condition has observed and been under, it's more along the line of something that should not have been lost to the integrity that it was lost to. It's not something you can just fix like that, because the thing is that which should have been declared more precious, it wasn't. And that was the objectivity of it, not based off of politics, not based off of what the traumatic historical account and relationship has been, just based off of a people's objectivity themselves.
Well, someone wrote this. What do you think needs to happen? I mean, from your perspective, okay, we're not going to fix what happened in the past. But if let's just say if there's a beginning of changing the way things are in the future, first, I believe it needs to be men at the forefront of that.
Facts.
Because when I say men in the forefront, it's because we have to decide that we can't accept the way shit is right now. If we accept the way stuff is, then we're not really going to be a part of the solution. We got to pull and extract people out, or find new people who want to live differently. You know what I'm saying? Who want to live under.
To live differently, you have to accept the way that it is first. If you don't accept the way that it is,
you got to acknowledge the way it is.
You got to accept it.
Well, why do you have to accept it?
That don't mean that you have to absorb it, embody it, and then return it.
I hear what you're saying. I would use the word acknowledge, but I know where you're going.
Right. So the thing, but it has to be an acceptance. I think the issue is that nobody want to accept it, that things were as more non-ideal as opposed to being ideal. And when it comes to what was being lost, again, two things you got to ask yourself: culturally, What does it mean to be black? And what does it mean to belong to being black? Because those are the two most pertinent factors in our reality when it comes to black participation within the United States, within the world, and all that, right? The thing is, black women, just like anybody else in power, or black person in power, they're not blackly there. They're there for themselves. They're there. They're there as a capacity unto themselves. Hyper individualism, and everybody suffers from that within this joint, right? But the whole thing is, we're supposed to be creating our own perspective of defining what success is, of defining what making it is, of defining what it means to be elite within this society, not merely trying to, you know what I'm saying, see if they can mosey themselves into some, you know what I'm saying, pilgrim accord with it, and create your own metric, create your own social value, create your own social worth. Black women's social worth comes from the system. It don't come from it don't come from me. It don't come from them. Hold up, and I'll end with this.
Yeah.
My pimping ass uncles taught me as far back in the motherfucking first grade. You got to know when a woman ain't yours no more. Well, you got to know when you're being knocked. These motherfuckers ain't just those three things that you saying that they're offering to black women. That ain't just some shit that they're accepting for the moment and they're able to get their fill and they need more. Nah, the moment that they start accepting that shit, nigga, you been knocked.
But that's true enough.
As they said in the black manosphere,
true enough.
They're not our women. Manosphere was the first person was the first group to say that. They're not our women. Well, I was asking, nigga, who women they is then? Because they don't belong to themselves. Because if they did, then they will make more healthier fucking decisions. So who they belong to?
Well, hey, you like you said, you gotta accept what they are. You gotta accept.
That's somebody else's bitch, cuz.
Well, here's the point then. That means you should stop banging your head against the wall trying to change it.
What the fuck you trying to
That's what I'm saying.
Trying to make a whole housewife, man, and
that's right.
Once they belong to the game, they belong to the game. You better tell yourself they belong to the game.
Rogish, how many men can't let go of that shit? That's why there's so much red pill rage and all that, because they still think the possibility of changing that shit back. There's no way. You gotta find new pastors.
Once she belongs to the game, she belongs to the game.
Hey man, that 92%. You know the women are starting to refer to themselves as the 92%.
What the fuck does that mean?
Those are 92% of black women who voted for Kamala Harris, right? That they call themselves the 92% now.
Nigga, that's like Beyonce with the beehive shit.
Yeah. So when you hear a black woman or woman say the 92%, that's what they mean. That's how much that's how strong the sister code is, man. You know, we're part of the 92%. Yeah, shit. God, so you ain't fucking with 92% of anything is a big number.
Nigga, that ain't your woman no more.
Shit, not politically, not nothing.
System. Oh my God.
Yeah, buddy. So that's the way it is, man. I listen, black women in general, I would say, have a major role in shaping their part. They play a major part in the Democrat system. The problem is they don't really control. They're being used, and when they're not useful anymore, those people are going to discard them just like anybody else.
In a word,
and when that fall is going to be hard and painful. That fall is going to be hard and painful.
But you think they're going to acknowledge that fall? Come on.
No, well, it's not going to be. I'm not going to care. I'm not going to care. I'm not going to care. I really am. I mean, I think
almost feel like the Roger Report over here. You know
yeah, I'm not going to care. But remember, that saying, and this is the thing where women have to understand, because there's some truth to the saying that the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. Right? Okay. And if you ever heard of that one before, right?
Vaguely.
Right. So the hand that rocks the cradle, the people who control the babies and grow them, right? They rule the world. They help shape shit. Oh, okay. But I also say that the hand that's rocking that cradle, if they're crooked and they're not straight, they could also ruin the world.
Facts. Fact.
They could also ruin the world.
Yes, sir.
So that's where we are. So when I show those women who were on the right path, achieve these high heights, only to blow it, they're not ruining the world. They're ruining it because not only for themselves, they're now. I'm looking at all black women in power with a jaundiced eye, especially if they're liberals.
Damn.
You know, so I mean, I'm saying, wait, if I vote for this chick, is she gonna? One day I'm gonna wake up and see the news thing and she's banging out somebody in the office, or she's stealing money. She's got,
But hold on, okay, but hold on. Do they show any element of that character before they get in there? The thing is, if that's one of the factors that's going to be, needed to be filtered, what is it of their character that is being displayed prior to them?
Well, during the campaign trail, you only see the representative. If they have you only see the
nigga, I'm gonna tell you like I'll tell any motherfucker on the internet since 2006, 2007. Y'all launched this motherfucker, nigga. If you don't know a hoe, if you don't know a motherfucking hoe, it's something wrong with you. Fuck the motherfucking hoe.
We ain't just talking about hoes. We talking about women running for political office too.
Nigga, that bitch busted open on motherfucking grounds, nigga. What the fuck are we talking? Oh man! God damn, I love this shit.
Hey man, it'd be funny if she was the only one. There's a few of them, man. They busted it open. Holy shit!
I know if you research, nigga, you can come up with at least fucking 60, and that's fucking crazy.
That is crazy, man.
That's crazy, nigga.
Hey, listen, man, you gotta love women, man. What can you say?
I want 9 of them. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man. So anyway, man, any last words, brother?
I appreciate the sharpening and the
hey man, thanks for showing up, man. We got like conversations going on in the chat, man. I'm sorry, but that's cool too, man. Thanks for the chat, man. Everybody hung out. So, got any last words? Anything?
No. Thanks for the sharpening and the hospitality. So,
you're right, man. Thanks for coming up, man. I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro. Let me get ready to get out of here. Listen, I think like I came here with a purpose. Anybody who heard me, Rogish, thanks for coming up. Hey, listen, I just say that the sisters, whether you think you're a queen or not, you can still be used. That's the point. You could be used. And the good part about some of this is that your guys are making some great strides, becoming mayors and all that shit. But when you get there, you can't let the power go to your head, man. Like I said, the hand that rocks the cradle could rule the world. And even though I wouldn't want to see women rule the fucking world, to tell you the truth, I got to tell you that. However, if you don't have your head straight, if you don't understand shit right, you could also ruin what you got going too. And understand that, whoever's your benefactor, make sure that they're doing the right thing for you, and they're not just using you. And so we'll see. And I have problems with liberal democratic women. I'd rather see more conservative women take power if they're have the right mindset. Not like Winsome Sears, who was a rhino, and she was a Republican in name only. And she wasn't necessarily, I don't think she was a Republican or conservative at all based on her choices for governor. She should be governor of Virginia, but she gave that away. Anyway, so I'm going to leave you with this on the way out. And thanks to the Black Man Unfiltered Network. Thanks for the super chats, a few super chats that we got. I appreciate that. And, so I got one more. So I like to do my music now. And it's not every show, but this one, there's a variation on a theme that I wanted to show you. So the last one is called The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. So we're going to share that with you.
the shape of fate, they rise and fall. From cradle to the throne, they spin their tales. Every secret dream in silence prevails. A mother's heart, a soldier's mind, guiding souls through every fight. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world, and the quiet shadows, the banners unfurled through the depths of sorrow, through the heights of grace. In every heartbeat, a story we face. With every gentle push, a legacy's born. In the silent struggle, the weary are one. The world may turn, but in this space, the decadence of power takes place. Through joy and pain, the echoes sing of love's ferocity and what it brings. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. In the quiet shadows, the banners unfurled through the depths of sorrow, through the heights of grace. In every heartbeat, a story we face. So hold on tight, let the music sway. The hand that shapes us will find a
All right, folks, that does it for the show tonight. Thanks for stopping by, and I appreciate it. Art Payne, your favorite baby boomer for the Black Men Unfiltered Network. Until next Monday. Hey, listen, tomorrow we got flipping tables. Wednesday there's one-on-one sports. They got crazy ass my man after that. I forgot the name of his show. Tarus is coming on after the sports show at like 8 or 9 or something like that. And then Friday we have the barbershop. So come hang out with Black Man Unfiltered Network all week long. We got something else to talk about. And with that, good night, all. We'll see you next week when I come up with something else. All right. Night.